Today I wanted to focus on an important topic, and this is something that at first I didn't realize was important, but now through my meditation journey, I've realized this is something important, at least to me. So I'm going to talk to you about protecting yourself. So what does protecting yourself mean? Well, when I first started meditating, I was really worried about opening up my mind. I was scared to meditate because I've been told that when you open up your mind, you can let demons in. Now, that's not true, but there is a negative aspect of being an empath that can affect you. It's not the meditation that affects you, it's the energies around you and how easily you can absorb them. Okay, so let me explain a little bit more. Some of you may already know that you're an empath. And if you don't know what an empath is basically somebody that is very sensitive to energies around them. So an empath, you hear of empathy, that you feel for somebody. When they're sad, you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, you're sad. It's the same thing. You actually absorb the energy of people around you. And this is something that is becoming more common. And during my own research, I kind of am along the lines that a lot of what you see today, people are known to have depression, are actually just people that are very empathic and sensitive to energies. I myself suffered depression when I was a teenager. And now everything I'm going to share with you, I am no expert on this subject whatsoever. This is just what I'm sharing from my own experiences. And there is so much information out there about this, and everybody's got their own opinions and their own advice, but this is just from my own personal experience, what I'm sharing with you. So I've read some books recently about being an empath, and I've got a couple more too. And just the stuff you read in them. Now, you don't even have to necessarily be an empath. You can still be sensitive to energies. But I guess that kind of is what empathy is. And from what I've heard is when you start raising your vibration more, you do start becoming more an empath. You become sensitive to energies. Just like you've probably noticed that you can sense people's energies more now that you're raising your vibration, you're meditating more. So what do I mean by protection? So where do I start with that? So I used to go to the Dr. Joe events, and when I would come home, I would be very exhausted. Now, a lot of people blame this on the Dispenza flu. You're upgrading your body, you're going to have some emotional withdrawals and just different things like that. And what I think it is I'm upgrading my body, but I think I'm also just absorbing. There's so much energy going on there that I'm absorbing the energy, and it's just too much for me. And I actually saw, now don't let any of this discourage you at all, but this is something that I think everybody kind of needs to be aware of. I was going through a dark night of the soul, and I happened to go to a metaphysical fair. Yes, those do exist. Those are fairs where you can go and like learn mystical things and all that kind of stuff. Look for those out there. I went to a metaphysical fair, and there was a man there. I don't know why I was so drawn to go talk to this man. So he did some amazing work on me, and I said I'd do whatever I need to have done. And it was kind of like a balancing my energy centers or something like that. But what he was telling me is when I was healed, it kind of opened up my chakras a lot, and I had some negative entities just kind of attach to me. Now, they're not like to me, they're kind of close within my aura. And when I'm weak, they kind of attack. And so he was able to kind of remove these energies off of me, and I felt a lot better. So now what I'm going to tell you is he said I need to protect myself. And I've heard a lot of people talking about this, like put a shield up around you to protect yourself from other people's energies. Some of you may be part of the group that talks to the blue beings, and she talks a lot about protecting yourself. And so what are different ways you can protect yourself? Well, he gave me a particular thing to say. Basically, it's an intention, and the intentions really work. And I guess you could call it a prayer almost. And because he did have me put my hands together, my thumbs on my heart, and bow my head, because I guess that kind of opens up your energy center up to the universe. It opens it up. I guess that makes sense why people bow their heads and say a prayer. But he had me say, I had a little script that he had me write down. It could probably work for a lot of people, but I'm not going to share it word for word because I want it to be my own thing. But it was basically along the lines of asking angels or spiritual beings to please watch over me, protect me, only allow good energies to come close to me, or to keep negative energies away from me. And then at the end, he said, say 3 times some kind of, and you also need to have gratitude, like say thank you, great, or I'm grateful, or something like that. But at the end, he wanted me to say, like, so it is, so it is, so it is, so be it, so be it, so be it, amen, 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 whatever I feel comfortable saying. It closes it out. I've heard a lot of people doing that lately with saying things 3 times, and it really emphasizes something when you say it 3 times. So there's that. And after I started doing that, when I would go to a Dr. Joe event, I would do it every morning before I went to meditation. Now, I had gone to do some group meditations locally at just like some local shops or whatever, and I felt so horrible after I went to them. Like the Dr. Joe events, I don't really. I think people are very high energy there. But I think some of these local events, these are people that are kind of starting off and they're kind of giving off kind of a negative energy just because they're kind of like, I'm going to try this. I don't know. Just because I was so sensitive. And so this is a way I could have protected myself back then, but I wasn't aware of it back then. But now that I've started doing this, anytime I do it, I feel fine afterwards. I realize that I've only got my own energy. I'm not absorbing other people's energies. Something else you can do is to imagine a bubble around you. And some people I've heard it done many different ways. Some people have you do it right from your third eye and to like focus in on the universe and try to imagine like a big bubble around you, a bubble of light, a shield, and this will block out anybody else's energies, any negative energies. Me personally, I like to do it from my heart because I feel your heart is stronger and could be a stronger shield. And so I try to think of my heart glowing into a big ball, and then it basically puts out like like an invisible shield, like a bubble. If you remember Harry Potter, when they put that big like bubble outside of the school to protect anything from coming inside. That's basically kind of what I'm imagining, is something kind of like that to protect anything. Basically, if it tries to like come into my shield, is boom, it bounces off. It's not able to penetrate through it. And it's interesting because when I thought about this more, I was remembering back to in the Bible, they talk about wearing your armor. And I was like, oh, that's kind of what you're doing. You're putting your armor on. You're strong, but you're putting your armor on just in case, other people that are out there can try to attack you because you're not perfect. Because now some people will argue with me and say, well, if you just raise your vibration high enough, you won't need to protect yourself. Well, I feel that my vibration's high, but at the same time, I guess not. And then sometimes that can be a bad thing, because I actually had an instance where I went into a place that was haunted, and I started feeling really, really sick while I was inside there. And I had to leave. As soon as I left, I started feeling better. And I went to a local mystical shop, and they told me that place was haunted, and that the person that had lived there before they died had intestinal problems, got very sick. And I guess I was feeling that same thing. And they say sometimes that they don't want to attack people that are vibrating at a low frequency. They see people that are vibrating high. They're like, oh, I want that energy, and they'll go after it. And so by protecting myself, I could prevent that from attacking me. Now, sometimes these protections may not work, and if you start, you're somewhere and you just start feeling tired or weak, or you're like, okay, what's going on? You can basically close your eyes. You don't even have to close your eyes. Just put out some intention that this is not my energy. Leave me alone. Get away from me. I don't want this energy. So these are some different ways you can protect you. I'm going to tell you in a second a way, if you feel negative, how to remove those from you and to draw your energy back to you. But I'll tell you that in a minute, because I wanted to talk about something else. So that man I was talking about, he had me say that little thing, and then he also had me spray this Manifest Love spray around me. And I always did it, and I wasn't sure really if it worked. But recently I went to a physical therapist again, and this lady was selling these sprays, and you know, I didn't believe in them or whatever. She had my girls do something, and it was interesting because she was having them wash their hands, and as they were washing their hands, I felt this like release, like whew, off of me. My daughters are washing their hands, and I feel this release. So I was like, okay, something's going on. So then she has like 15 different sprays, and my daughter asked, well, what do some of the others do? So she sprayed this one, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then this particular one she sprayed, and she just sprayed it. And there was like a whole bunch of people watching or whatever. And she says, you're going to feel this in your chest. And all of a sudden I was like, I felt it in my chest, and I just started bawling my eyes out. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And then she just put it down right away, and she's like, come with me, come with me. And she basically had me do the spray, and she had me like cleanse and wash, and I was releasing something. She was having me wash this off of me, and the spray basically was bringing my power back to me. And so these sprays, I think, and she talked about intention a lot. She says, when you do the spray, make an intention. When you're washing your hands, make an intention. And I think when she made these, she had an intention that as I'm making these, I want this to have this power to do this, to protect, to remove depression or to manifest or whatever her sprays happen to be. And I was shocked. And so I had the intention. And so I bought the spray so I could bring my power back to me. So I guess the sprays work. I thought it was like weird woo-woo stuff, but I guess it really does work. Now, don't depend on this stuff. I think a lot of it has to do with the intention, but something in the herbs in here, and then she has some gemstones, did something. And you could call me crazy, but when my daughters witnessed it, they were like, whoa, what the heck? Mom is crying from a spray? So anyway, so now I'm gonna go back then to being an empath and feeling those negative energies, feeling down in the dumps, or you just like, why do I feel this way? Or, oh, I just feel off or really tired. That's a big sign right there, is when you feel real tired, especially when you go out in public, go to a shopping mall, go to parties, and you're just like, oh, I feel so drained. I'm so tired. I'm so worn out. Well, the reason is, being an empath, you not only absorb people's energies, but people take your energy away. Have you ever seen the people that are just like, you know, and they just like, they're so full of energy and they're just so bubbly. You know why? Because they're feeding off of everybody's energy to make them bubbly and whoa, whoa, whoa. And it's just like, it's my daughter, same thing. She has a friend that's like this, and my daughter's like, she always felt so tired after being with her friend because her friend was taking all of her energy away from her. So if you are like that, then a way you can do, same thing, you can protect yourself with the shield to protect yourself from other people stealing your energy. But you may get tired, and your shield may not have been like perfect, and you want to get rid of this negative energy on you or the way you're feeling. And what I've imagined, and there's lots of ways you can do it, use your own imagination of how you want to do it. It's all about the intention of what you want to be done. So what I do, and I've started doing this every night, and it really has helped me a lot. I think I've been an empath my whole life and always just kind of get tired and drained and down in the dumps at different weird times, and I think it's because of this. So what I do is I close my eyes, and if you're in public and you don't want to close your eyes, just kind of shut your mind off from everything around you and do it. But I imagine, first I try to imagine the negative energy coming off of me. And I just kind of imagine it floating off of me. And I imagine it all at once. And I kind of told my daughter how to do this. And I told her just to imagine there's glitter stuck all over your body. And you just want it to go out into space. And it just all is coming off you. Now, it's not going to just go poof and it's all gone. you just kind of, it's going to slowly kind of come off you. It's like stuck to you. So it kind of comes off of you like this. And if you ever feel it, if you feel the need, like if there's a spot inside of you, like there's a weird knot up in your shoulder, just, you can even use your imagination to like start pulling, like there's something like a plug or something on you, or like a gooey slime, and you're just like pulling it off of you. Or in your chest, if you just feel in your chest, pull it. Or you're in your gut, just kind of, pull this energy off of me. I know I look weird, and I know this sounds weird, but I've done this, and this is what works for me, okay? And so by doing that every night, just imagining everything just coming off my body, it makes me feel lighter. I'm even doing it right now, and I'm even kind of feeling lighter. My younger daughter said she imagined in Spider-Man or the Avengers or whatever, when they blipped and they kind of went into dust, she kind of imagined all this negative energy. So just say, I want all this negative energy taken off me. I want all of this energy that does not belong to me to go away. And I've started learning being an empath. You know, if somebody has like to me and I'm like, I feel it like it's stuck to me, I kind of feel bad giving them that energy back. So what I sometimes do, especially if somebody's just to me, I kind of feel like, okay, I don't want this energy on me, get it off. You know, I kind of think, okay, well, I want you to send back their energy, but I want you to send it back with love. So it's almost like you transmute that negative energy back to them as a loving feeling. I don't want to give them more negative energy back. It is their energy, and that's what they gave to me. But why give it back to them? It's like when somebody punches you, like my kids, it's like, oh, I'm going to punch him back. You know, well, they did it to me, I'm going to do it to them. It's like I just want to give it back to them in a nicer way. I don't want to be mean back to them. So give people their energy back. Take all the negative energy off of you. There could be weird negative energy just floating around in the air from who knows what. These stuff they spray in the skies, or I don't know, a motorcycle that drove by, guys pissed off. I don't know what could be floating around. Just give it away. You don't want it on you. It's not part of you. Anything that is not part of me, anything that's not serving me, let it go. And then once I do that, I feel like the more powerful is when I want to bring my energy back to me. And so I say, anywhere I have left my energy, please bring it back to me. So anytime you've talked to somebody, they've got your energy. That needs to come back to you. And it could just be anywhere. You know, you're at a little antique store and you like pick up something. You're like, oh, okay, and you set it down. Your energy is now on that particular object. Bring your energy back to you. The reason you're probably tired is because your energy is spread out everywhere and you got to recharge. Just bring that energy back to you. It's your energy. It doesn't belong anywhere else. So I kind of think of that almost in reverse, but I feel of it more like, I don't know, rays of light. I guess I kind of do it a little bit different every time. So I kind of imagine it just coming back to my body and just getting absorbed into my body. And sometimes I feel like a little jerk inside. I'm like, oh, wow. So it's like it's working, like, woo, okay, there's some of my energy. And I just keep doing it. And I just do it until I feel good, because sometimes I do it and I just smile. I feel good. I'm like, okay, wow, I feel more myself. I've gotten rid of what's not mine and I've taken back what is mine. And I think this is something very, very important that, especially if you're empath, you need to try to do every day. I've told my daughters to do it, because sometimes at night they're just like, I don't know why I'm just starting to think these weird things in my head. And I'm like, tell it to go away. Tell it to go away. So you really should start doing this kind of stuff, especially if you meditate in groups. You know, I've gone to events too where people will they're like, okay, here, smell this, and it'll help to protect you from other people's energies. And you know, I've seen people, you know, like this one guy was going by somebody that was like shaking a bunch, and they're like, go, go, go. They didn't want him stealing her energy. And it was like, okay, yeah, you know, people might try to steal energy. People, they call them energy vampires. They're trying to steal people's energy. And I know that's a bad thing, but it just, like I said, don't stress about it. Don't fret about it. What you're doing is amazing, and what you're doing is wonderful. You need to continue to raise your vibration, and you need to continue to meditate. And don't let these little things scare you. They're out there anyway, whether or not you were meditating or not. So even if you're not meditating, you probably should be doing this stuff if you feel like you get tired and drained and people are taking your energy. This is probably the reason that you're doing this. So start doing that. You don't have to do it every night. I do it every night. Or if there's some time during the day where I just kind of feel off. Like our girls and I went to the mall the other day and we went to this one store. My daughter's like, my legs are feeling heavy. And like, I just started getting this really negative thought in my head. And I was like, I'm getting out of this store. And then we left the mall and I just did that thing. And I was like, I just felt ugh. After there, I don't know, somebody that was in there was real negative or something. And we were both picking up on it. It was very weird. So be more in tune with this kind of stuff and protect yourself and bring back your energy to yourself and give people their energy back. You don't need it. That's like a heavy burden on you that you don't need. So if you have any questions, any comments, any suggestions, please comment below, because I would love to learn more about this. I'm sure there's lots of opinions about all this, and I'd love to hear other people's experiences, because I've talked to other people about this when this first started happening to me, and people were giving me all kinds of suggestions, and I was almost overwhelmed with like all the information, and I was like, whoa, this is kind of weird, and I'm not really sure where to start. So I'm sure there's probably even other YouTube videos you can watch, or people just look up for protection, I don't know, protection spells, empath protection, or something like that. But like I said, just comment below, or questions below, or suggestions below. I'd love to hear from all of you guys. Thank you for watching.